today we have a tremendous personality in our fold. Today we have DIG IP Bhatia sir with us. He has more than 35 years of service in the border security forces. So he is one of the best persons to guide us about the career prospects, the lifestyle, the transfer postings, the trainings and everything that you wanted to know about CAPFs. So would request everyone to quickly join in. एक बार सबको नोटिफिकेशन आ चुका है तो प्लीज शेयर कर दीजिए अपने साथियों के साथ, ताकि जो हमारे वॉचिंग है वो ज्यादा स्टूडेंट्स हो जाएं. ऑलरेडी अभी काफी कम स्टूडेंट्स वॉच कर रहे हैं सेशन को. So I am now requesting, I would be opening the house for our special invitee for today. So would request everyone to please quickly join into the session. As you all know, Vardi Talks is an initiative. Hello sir, welcome to the session. I hope you are audible to all.
Thank you. Yes, I am audible to you now.
Yes sir. So hello future cadets. I hope all of you are staying safe and studying hard. We at Vardishala today are privileged to host our guest Sir IP Bhatia, retired DIG Border Security Forces. He has served for more than 35 years in the uniform, and today he is here with us to share his wisdom about CAPF's Border Security Forces and life in general, about how to be a worthy human being, because the philosophy at Vardishala is become worthy और वर्दी अपने आप आपके पास आ जाएगी. तो हमारे पास एक जीते जाते एग्जाम्पल है आईपी भाटिया सर के रूप में, जिन्होंने खुद को इस काबिल बनाया that he could rise up the ranks and become a DIG officer in the Border Security Forces. Welcome sir to Vardishala's Vardi Talk.
Thank you, Akshay. Thank you very much. Good evening to all of you, those who are listening to me. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening to everyone. I am Indra Prakash Bhatia. I had joined Border Security Force as Assistant Commandant in 1986, and I have retired in last year only after putting 35 years of service to the nation. So I had a stint with the Army in Uri sector. I was with 3rd SIC 54GR for 2 years, and then I had a stint with Punjab Police during terrorism when the militancy in Punjab was at peak from 89 to 91. So 2 years I served in district Hoshiarpur with the Punjab Police. So as you know that Border Security Force is a challenging job. We keep on moving from place A to place B and basically guarding the borders of the nation, that is along with the Pakistan and Bangladesh. So besides that, BSF provides enough opportunities to command the water wing. Water wing is a wing basically in the Arabian Sea, in the Sundarban Delta, in all the rivers of the Punjab and the Kutch-Bhuj border of Gujarat. Similarly, we have got air wing in the BSF, which is manned by pilots who come from the Air Force or who join with an assistant commandant background if they have got the technical background, that is they have got the mathematics, physics, orientation, BSc in mathematics, physics. They are given specialized training by the BSF and then they go for the flying in the BSF air wing also. So now we'll be talking about BSF in particular and the other forces in general. As I have got experience with the ITBP officers since when we did training in 1986 for 54 weeks, we had 10 batchmates of ITBP who also did training with us at Tekanpur Gwalior. So we have got sufficient experience of the training program of ITBP also. Similarly, when we are employed in internal security duties, we have to work with the CRPF, so sufficient exposure of CRPF is also available. Large number of officers went on deputation to SSB when SSB was in making and was deployed on Bhutan and Nepal border. So commandants from the BSF had been sent on deputation to guide that force and to bring the leadership up to the requisite level. So that kind of experience is also available. So now we'll be talking in general about the training. First of
Sure.
all, training,
Sir,
I'm,
a lot
yes.
of sorry to interrupt, sir. A lot of students are asking that how did this inspiration for you started to join the forces, and they are also specifically interested in what was the training like. Were there any incidents that happened that were really memorable during the training that happened?
Okay, okay. So, in fact, my father was serving in the BSF. He was among the ranks, so he could rise up to the rank of Subedar. So, after completing my graduation, that is BSc and post graduation in MA History, I was interested to join the armed forces as captain. So, I appeared for the various SSBs at that time, and ultimately I landed in the BSF Academy, and I was selected in the BSF. Joint test of the ITBP and BSF was held at that time by Service Selection Board, and I had 10th position All India rank at that time. So therefore, how this is how we landed in the force. Now regarding the training, training is basically 54 weeks training which one has to undergo. Training is basically about the brain and the brain, or you can say it is physical fitness and mental robustness. A man from the civil who joins in the training, be it in any of the armed forces or any of the CAPF, the aim of any organization is to make a steel out of the raw material available to them. So they'll be giving you sufficient ragda so that you become physically fit and mentally robust. So training includes getting up early in the morning, say by 4:30, be in the ground by 5 or 5:10, go for PT, come back, and then have quick bath, breakfast, and go to the ground again. You will be given weapon handling training. Then the weapon handling training consists of various weapons. It starts from the self-loading rifle in SAS these days, LMG, light machine gun, pistol, carbine, hand grenades, 2-inch motor, 51 motor. Now we call it. Earlier we used to call it 2-inch motor. And then we have got the training of MMG also and 81 motor. That is a sport weapon, which are available with the Border Security Force and ITBP. Because whenever there is advances by the enemy, these two forces are trained to tackle the adversary along the Pakistan border, Bangladesh border, and China border. So they have got the sport weapons also. So this weapon training, once you finish this weapon training, you have to immediately go to the drill ground. There you will be learning the drill part. How you march, fast movement, slow movement, saluting, etc. And how to move with the crutch, that is the sword, and how to command a platoon, how to be a leader. That the drill, basically drill area makes up you a good officer, especially as far as the discipline is concerned and marching is concerned. So next part is the in the rigmarole of the day. You're given the sand model exercises where you will be taught about the tactics. By tactics, I mean to say that the operation of war in BSF and ITBP operation of war are important. That is how to carry out the defenses, how to go for the attack, and how to carry out a raid of an enemy hideout. These are the topics which are covered in the tactics. Besides, there are police subjects, that is coordinate search operation and hostage and relief operations. So all these exercises are conducted on the SAND model. Initially on the SAND model, and then subsequently the officers are taken to the ground where they have to apply what they have learned in the classroom. So SAND model exercises are turned into real exercises on the ground where you are monitored also. Your leadership is drilled and checked also. So once these classes are over, then there are certain theoretical subjects. Theoretical subject by I mean to say law. You have to read the CRPC, IPC, then the law of the force, that is the Border Security Force Act, which is passed by the Parliament, ITBPB Act, SSB Act, and similarly CRPF Act. So these are the laws which you have to learn in your course of time. Then you are trained about the IS duty. Again, IS duty have got certain drills which are shown by the troops on the ground, and then you are asked to how to conduct it when you will go for the elections. So when there is a lunch time, and after the lunch time, when you come back again at 4 o'clock in the evening, you are tested for the public speaking. By public speaking, I mean to say that each officer will be given at least 2 books for a week. And then after 2 weeks, he'll be asked to come on the stage and explain to all the officers the resume of the one book in 5 minutes. That is how we start developing the personality of the officer, that he becomes a good speaker, so that he has sufficient confidence in dealing with the civil dignitaries, maybe senior superintendent of police, maybe army colonel, maybe brigadier, maybe group captain of the Air Force. Because these are the requirements of the day. When you become the officer, you will be meeting, you will be interacting them. So we don't want that our officer should lag in that. Therefore, public speaking is one of the important aspects in all the organization, be it BSF or be it ITBP. Again, once this session is over, then you are called for the games. Force games. I would like to say force games. By force game, I mean your volleyball, basketball, hockey, and football. These are the 4 games which are compulsory. So out of these 4 games, you have to choose one, and you are develop the team spirit. The message of the team spirit you learn there, and you also learn the qualities that how when there will be adverse circumstances, when you will be in crisis, whenever there will be contingency, then who will cooperate with you and who won't cooperate with you, who can tolerate the stress and who cannot tolerate the stress. These are the qualities we learn during games. Besides that, you have to go for the boxing, shooting, swimming, and there are umpteen number of subjects which I may not be able to talk to you in a short period. So this is all about the training. This training goes for 54 weeks, and basically a person who is physically fit, mentally robust, and who enjoys each and every activity of the training, he will get good marks, score good marks, and come out with a flying colors. And a person who keeps on cribbing कि कहाँ फंस गए जनाब, ये तो आना नहीं चाहिए था, यहाँ पे रगड़ा लग रहा है, फालतू का ही रगड़ा लग रहा है, इतना काम आएगा या नहीं आएगा. We generally keep on thinking about the future कि पता नहीं वहां काम आएगा कि नहीं आएगा, बीएसएफ ने कौन सा अटैक करना है, नहीं करना है, like this. So this cribbing attitude you will be lacking if you are having a cribbing attitude. So my word of advice would be, as in training, we should put in our 200% so that we come out with a flying color. Because training is a one-time exercise in your whole life. Then there are in-service courses. By in-service courses, I mean to say young officers course, where again you will be learning about the police subjects and the army subjects, operation of war. And then there is junior command course. It is a mixture of course. Then there is a commando course. It is must in the BSF. It is mandatory. Commando, unless you complete the undergo the commando course and pass it successfully, you cannot become deputy commandant. There are large number of instances in our border security force, especially and in ITBP. I have learned that there are good officers, those who are very good at academics, but are not able to run enough, and they don't have physical stamina enough, and they fail in their commandos. If you fail in your commandos, you will remain as assistant commandant. You cannot become deputy commandant. So after 7 to 8 years of service, these officers then try to leaving the force, and they keep on joining the banks. That is whatever the service is available to them in the civil market. So therefore, my word of advice would be that each day is a challenge for the officer who has been selected in the Central Armed Police Force. He should run minimum 4 to 5 kilometers so that he has got sufficient strength in his body and he can take on the long marches whenever there will be long marches in the your basic training, that is 10-kilometer walk, 20-kilometer walk. Again in commando it is 10-kilometer walk, 20-kilometer walk, 30-kilometer walk, and 40. I have learned that these days they have and deleted the 40-kilometer walk. And mind it, it is all with your haversack. You have to put on the haversack, then you have got the weapon also, then you have got the ammunition boot also, and all the rigmarole which you are carrying during commando weighs about 12 to 15 kg.
So
So we
thank you
have to
for
be really tough.
yeah, sir.
We
Go
have
on.
to be really tough. Yes, what is your question?
सर स्टूडेंट्स वर आस्किंग कि कई बार ऐसा सुना आता है जितना रगड़ा उतना तगड़ा। तो सर आप रगड़े की कोई इंसिडेंट सुनाना चाहेंगे? आपके टाइम पे रगड़ा कैसा होता था, महाराजा पोज और सर क्या क्या होता था?
I'll give you one instance of commando course. My instructor was officer who is now commanding special DG at border at Chandigarh. He is also retiring on 31st of October. He is now additional DG. So हम उसमें जो है कंबल भी रखना है, आपने अपने कपड़े भी रखने हैं, तो उसका वेट किया जाता है दौड़ लगवाने से पहले। तो 30 किलोमीटर की रन थी, रात को मुझे याद है कठिन मार्ग एक्सरसाइज था। कठिन मार्ग एक्सरसाइज में you have to walk all the night through the jungles and you have to pass that complete difficult terrain also. So in the morning by 9 o'clock again you are gathered after rest of 2-3 hours and then you are asked to run 30 kilometers. तो मेरा वजन जो है उसमें 4.5 निकला हैवरसैक में। तो उन्होंने बोला कम क्यों है? तो मैंने बोला सर हो सकता है कोई चीज भूल गए होंगे। कहता नहीं नहीं क्यों भूल गए आप, ऐसा करो तो ईंटें ढूंढो अभी यहीं से। जंगल में थे तो देन वी सर्च टू ब्रिक्स, उसके ऊपर उसने अपना नाम लिख दिया कि जैसे अक्षय बडोला। बोला ये ईंट वहीं चेक होंगे जब 30 किलोमीटर की दौड़ खत्म होगी। So now you cannot throw those bricks also. So I carried those bricks also along with me. Of course, I had rashes on my back, but I made it sure no, this is to be carried unless he will get annoyed and he may also give me less marks and he may fail me also. So this is the kind of attitude that is required in the officer's training. So
That's great.
these are the training civil courses. Besides that, we go to the National Police Academy for the in-service course, and we go to the War College, Combat College, War College, MOU also. I have done 2 courses there, and then we go to the Staff College, Wellington also. Those officers who are doing good in the in-service course, especially come first and second, they are sent to Wellington also, because BSF and Army they are well knit and they have to fight the war. They have to be well knit and they should know each other's capabilities as well as limitation. Therefore, we get more chance of undergoing the Army courses in comparison to the other forces, maybe SSB or maybe CRPF.
सर यहाँ से
So
एक और
this is all about the training.
कई बार सर काफी स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं जो बीएसएफ को अपनी फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस भरते हैं। तो सर उन्हें इंटरव्यू में पूछा जाता है कि आपकी बीएसएफ फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी क्या है। तो सर उनके लिए क्या जस्टिफिकेशन होगा अगर हमें किसी को मोटिवेट करना हो बीएसएफ ज्वाइन करने के लिए? तो व्हाट शुड बी द रीजंस दैट वी शुड गिव दैट व्हाई बीएसएफ इज सच अ गुड चॉइस टू ज्वाइन?
You can always say that among all the forces of the CAPF, BSF is the most adventurous force because it gives chance to serve on the border against the adversaries. Pakistan is our adversary. Then we are controlling the line of control also. BSF is controlling 340 kilometer of line of control along with the army in the Kashmir area, out of which 90 kilometer is specifically controlled only by the BSF. So BSF has got water wing, BSF has got air wing, then BSF manages the border with the adversaries and it has got technology, well equipped, and it provides challenges in the internal security also. So look, there is a problem of terrorism. Again, you will be deployed. There is Naxalite problem. In Odisha, we are deployed. In Jharkhand, we are deployed. We are tackling the Naxalite problem also. So whatever you name the problem, and BSF will be there. So this should be your answer. What I personally feel.
Yes, sir. Sir, also there is apprehension in the minds of a few aspirants regarding the promotions in CAPFs. So what is the situation like this time, and sir, what is this OAGS and NFFU struggle that is happening?
In fact, now the promotion avenues have opened up because considering the past and considering the present, now up to DIG rank there is no problem at all. All the officers who are joining, they are bound to become DIGs if their record is good. If their service record is good and they are shape 1. By shape 1, I mean to say medical category should be shape 1. By S, we mean psychological. By H, we means heart and other appendages. And then this is the medical terminology. So shape 1 means your body should be streamlined and it should be cleared from the medical point of view. Your courses report should be okay and your ACR should be either very good or outstanding. If your ACRs are good and below the mark, again you will be missing the boat. So up to DIG rank there is no problem. Then comes the IG rank. Nowadays 70% of IGs are the force IGs. 70% में जो है फोर्स के आईजी आ गए हैं, 30% केवल जो है आईपीएस है. उसके बाद रह गया एडिशनल डीजी रैंक या स्पेशल डीजी रैंक. इसमें यस आई एग्री, देयर आर 2 पोस्ट फॉर द कैडर ऑफिसर and 4 posts for the IPS officer, and DG is still from the IPS. So this is the present structure of your service as far as the promotions are concerned. And those who will not be able to get promotion due to some kind of stagnation in the department, government has accepted the NFFU. They will be given timely financial benefit up to the rank of IG. आईजी तक के रैंक में सीनियर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ग्रेड में उनको समय समय पर पैसा मिलेगा अगर स्टेग्नेशन आ गई है. So there is a noting on the subject from the Department of Personnel and Training. So they have come out with clear-cut guidelines that these forces will be provided NFFU. As far as the organized group A service is concerned, it is still matter is still lurking in the court. So government has yet not clarified that BSF, CRPF, ITBP, SSB is a group A service. There was some kind of article in the past which I was reading that once the government will clear this as a group A service, probably your exam will be merged with the civil services exam. You will have to pass a preliminary exam of the civil service, and then again there will be some separate exam for those who are joining the CAPF on the pattern of Indian Forest Officer Service. They are also merged with the civil service. They have to undergo the preliminary exams, and the rest of the exams are different from the civil service. So this kind of thought process is going on with the MHA and DOPT, and probably it may take time. But presently it is not recognized as Group A service, because by Group A service I mean to say then there should be deputation across the India. मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ अफेयर में आपको जाना है वहां जाएंगे, आपको जो है ब्यूरो ऑफ सिविल एविएशन में जाना है वहां जाएंगे. सो ऑल काइंड ऑफ डेपुटेशंस आर नॉट ओपन. आवर डेपुटेशंस आर जनरली ओपन टू एनएसजी, नेशनल सिक्योरिटी गार्ड, टू एसपीजी, स्पेशल प्रोटेक्शन ग्रुप, एंड देन वी आर ओपन टू द लोक सभा एंड राज्य सभा where our officers are employed. So this is the present status.
Yes. Sir, talking about your BSF days, can you share some incidents, because you have actively worked in areas which were considered hot, like Punjab insurgency. You worked with the army in the J&K sector. So can you share some incidents? What happened? Some रोंगटे खड़े करने वाले जो एक्सपीरियंसेस होते हैं सर, जो एक स्टूडेंट को मोटिवेट करें बीएसएफ और फोर्सेस को ज्वाइन करने के लिए सर.
Yes. I'll be talking of one incident when I was assistant commandant in the OD sector. So there we were deployed with the 3rd SIG. My company was with 3rd SIG regiment of the army. So I was in the forward defended localities, FDLs we call it, forward defended localities. जो सबसे आगे पोस्टें होती हैं उनको हम FDL बोलते हैं in military terminology. So these three FDLs were with us, and then in the depth there was a major of the army. So we were drying the water from the Jharna, which was a bone of contention between the Pakistan army and Indian army. So we kept on drying the water for 2-3 days, and for 2-3 days we were alert enough also. We used to employ our MMG, LMG, and all the weapons when our party used to go for fetching the water. But after a week, then we downgraded our security. So nobody was actually employing the machine guns on the ground, and the party went, and that party heavily came under the fire of Pakistan army. So it took almost 2-3 hours to reach back to the FDLs, and whole of the three FDLs of BSF, they faced enemy fire for 3-4 hours, and you won't believe that on that day we got such a surprise that our code NCO was somewhere else, key was somewhere else, and we took 10 minutes to take out our LMG, MMG, and employ them and give them a befitting reply to the Pakistan army. So that fire continued for almost a day, and of course we had 2 casualties also. On the other side, what were the casualties we don't know. But this was a kind of real war experience which lasted for almost 12 hours. So this is one of the incident which I have narrated. And secondly,
So Punjab
when I was
insurgency.
commandant, now I am talking into Gujarat border. Gujarat border, when we got deployment in 2010 in one of the creek areas, marine areas you can say. So there was some part of the land which was not in our control, uh, and we were only carrying out the air recce. So by air we had the domination. We used to go with the pilots of the Indian Air Force, carry out the air recce and come back. So that is in fact no domination. Domination basically means man should be on the ground and there should be weapon which should cover the movement of the enemy. That is domination. Physical presence of the troops should be there and it should be covered by the fire. That is domination. So as a commandant, I interacted with the previous battalion which was going out of that area. What is the problem? After gathering large number of intelligence inputs, we decided to give a relook to the whole issue, and we learned that this area has got lot of water. It has got crocodiles also. Those who will enter into this run catch water, they won't come alive, and probably there will be large number of casualties also, and it is difficult, inaccessible like that. So somehow I myself took the charge and we went there. So after third attempt, we crossed that whole marsh area of 4-5 kilometers, which was adjoining the Pakistan border, and ultimately we landed at the place where we could build the BOPs, that is a border outpost from the BSF side, and we could place the boats also. So the whole area of almost 300 kilometers of that area came in our strict observation and dominance. So this was highly appreciated by Government of India, and almost 600% of my battalion were given rewards, awards by the various dignitaries, and even the Deputy Home Minister of that time also visited at that area, and he talked with our battalion troops. He had a Senex Millen with us, and he also congratulated our men for doing a human service to the nation. That is a task which was left unattended so far, and we were able to do it. So this is at the level of commandant. Then third scene also at the level of commandant. You must be reading during those days. I am talking of 2016, when 4 or 5 militants entered from Pakistan side to Pathankot Air Base. Again, then I was handpicked by the BSF and BSF DG, and overnight I was placed as a commandant in Pathankot area in order to control the situation. And there also we worked very hard, and we brought the situation under control. As a new battalion was deployed, it was given the requisite leadership, and the matter was highly appreciated. And I was given President Police Medal for meritorious service also during that time.
That's such a great feat, sir. Like it is such an inspiring story that a lot of future officers would be motivated by this. Sir, can you share your style of leadership with the future aspirants? That what is the kind of leadership that an individual should have to lead their boys in these forces? Because the style of leadership that varies in the force is very different from a corporate kind of leadership. So, what are the values that a leader should have when they are leading their boys in these forces? So, sir, what should be a leader like in these forces?
In fact, here the leadership is altogether different. Here it is, you can say, lead by example. I must say, you have to lead and you have to be in forefront. Then soldiers follow you, and they also know your intentions. Also, soldiers are also very intelligent. They will quickly grab the intentions of the commander. And if you are giving them a good leadership, you are truthful, honest, true to your word, and you never fail on the promises, and you are loyal to them, and they are also able to express their problems at the mid of night to you, and you solve them. These are the simple things which are required for leading a good soldierly life. And basically, in our case, it is assertive leadership we call. By assertive leadership, I mean to say that things will happen, things will be done within the strict time frame control. कि जैसे आप छोटी सी बात है, कोई भी आपने काम करवाना है तो आप बोलेंगे यह काम रात के 12 बजे तक हो जाना चाहिए, इस काम के लिए आपको 10 सोल्जर दिए जाते हैं, यह काम इस प्रकार से किया जाएगा। आपको कोई शक सवाल वो बताएंगे साहब हमें ये शक सवाल है, तो आप फिर कुछ ऐड कर देंगे। मीन्स यू विल क्लैरिफाई ईच एंड एवरीथिंग टू योर सोल्जर्स। देयरफॉर इन द ऑफिसर्स फ्रेटर्निटी वी से कि ऑफिसर को हमेशा बोलना है और अच्छे तरीके से बोलना है, नहीं तो ट्रूप्स आपको समझ नहीं पाएंगे, और गेम हमेशा उनके साथ खेलनी है, so that you learn their qualities also. The hidden qualities of the soldiers will be expressed when you will start playing the game with them. You will participate in their activities. PT करेंगे, games करेंगे, उनके साथ सैनिक सम्मेलन में जाएंगे, उनके साथ मनोरंजन प्रोग्राम करेंगे, तो you will learn also their way of life, and then there will be good tuning.
तो सर उनके साथ कैमराडरी डेवलप करना आई गेस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इफ यू वांट टू लीड देम बाय एग्जांपल.
Yes, that is very important, and it is one of the essential prerequisite.
ऑल्सो
They
सर अ
can
लॉट
give you the blood. वो मतलब सोल्जर्स में कोई ऐसा कमी नहीं होती, चाहे वो झारखंड से आया हो, चाहे पंजाब से आया हो, चाहे कश्मीर से आया हो. They are always ready to shed their blood for you, provided you are truthful, loyal, honest, and your intentions are true.
जैसे सर पीछे न्यूज आई थी काफी सारे फैट्रिसाइड इंसिडेंट्स की एंड द राइजिंग सुसाइड रेट्स एंड द एट्रिशन रेट्स इन सीएपीएफ. सो सर इसके क्या रीजन है और ये कैसे इंप्रूव की जा सकती है ये सिचुएशन?
देखो, if you go for the history of all these incidents, most of the reasons are just the personal reasons. By personal reason, I say medical reason. Number one, the person may be ill. He may be suffering from some kind of family problems. As far as the leave is concerned, pay is concerned, training is concerned, look after is concerned, there is no doubt. All the commanders are looking after them. But there may be ill psyche. That comes into the play. And then there is a what I as I had read psychology also, I would like to say basically it is a kind of conflict in the mind of the individual. Approach avoid conflict I call it. So approach avoid conflict में क्या होता है कि आप अप्रोच भी करना चाहते हैं और अवॉइड भी करना चाहते हैं. जैसे आपको नौकरी अच्छी नहीं लगती है परंतु आपको तनख्वाह अच्छी लगती है, तो अब क्या होगा, आप नौकरी से चिपके भी रहेंगे परंतु आप 30 दिन रोते भी रहेंगे. तो ऐसे व्यक्ति जो हैं बेसिकली यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट अंडर योर कमांड कि जिनका मन नहीं लगता है, जो फालतू बातें करते रहते हैं, जिनको कोई मतलब नहीं है ट्रेनिंग से, कोई मतलब नहीं है पीटी से, गेम से, और जो आप काम बताते हैं समय समय पर उसमें हर समय पीछे हैं और क्रिबिंग करने में सबसे आगे हैं. दीज आर द डेंजरस पर्सन बेसिकली. सो this is my way of doing the things, and it seldom happens. It never, all the time it doesn't happen. Of course there are problems in the police also, in the army also, in the CAPF, because it is in far flung areas. They are always away from their families, so family stress is always there. But if they are playing games, they are doing PT, and they are getting leave whenever they require leave, you give them leave. Don't worry about the nafri part or the strength part. Give them, send them on leave. So the chances of retricide will be quite less.
That's a good way to approach the problem, sir. Also, sir, a lot of students are asking vis-a-vis CDS, how is the career prospects of CAPF? अगर किसी का CDS और CAPF में conflict आ रहा हो तो sir कैसे decide करना चाहिए?
CDS में I would like to say those who join NDA, they are definitely in a better platform. They are at better platform because NDA chap can go to the, if they can become chief of the army staff, chief of the air staff, chief of the navy staff. Those who are in the NDA stream, they are exceptionally good and they are better than the CAPF. As far as the CDS is concerned, those who are in the IMA, again I consider them better if they are able to rise up to the rank of Lieutenant General. And if they are retiring at the rank of Major General, they are equivalent to the CAPF, because in BSF almost all among you will become Inspector Generals. So this is my thought process, that there is not much of difference except between the IMA and the NDA. There may be some guys who may be reaching to the higher rank of Lieutenant Generals and Chief of the Army Staff.
Sure, sir. Sir, there is also this question of comparison between BSF and CRPF. Which one among the two is more adventurous?
Adventurous, I have narrated the BSF part. Now CRPF is also adventurous because if you consider the medal tally of this year on Republic Day, probably the CRPF is the first force among the CAPF who have got large number of gallantry medals, which speaks that they are doing their yeoman service in Kashmir. In the next slide, their Cobra battalions are deployed. So internal security itself is challenging and they also remain away from their families. So I consider the difference of 21 or 19. Not much of difference in the adventurism, and both the forces are equally good.
Yes, sir. Sir, regarding BSF, a lot of students have queries that what is the kind of lifestyle that one gets just as soon as they become an AC. So what are the things that they get, and what is the kind of the nature of the job that is there?
It is almost in BSF, ITBP, the similar nature of job. You become company commander. In loose term, we call it. Assistant commandant is basically a commander of 135 troops placed under his command. So number one, he has to manage the troops. Number two, he has been given assigned specific area of responsibility, say 10 kilometer of border or 5 kilometer of border, depending upon the terrain and difficulty and nature of threat from the enemy. If the nature of threat and terrains are difficult, the area of responsibility will restrict. But if the terrain is simple, it is plain, and nature of threat is also not there, say in Bengal, the area may extend up to 15 kilometers. So therefore, he has to be operational commander. Then he has to manage his troops. He has to manage the administration of the troops from provisioning point of view. जो क्लोथिंग वगैरह देनी है, राशन देना है उनको, उसके अलावा उनको लीव देनी है, उसके अलावा उनकी ट्रेनिंग करवानी है. So all the time you are engaged with the troops. Besides that, there will be programs from the battalion headquarters. You will be going to the battalion headquarters also from time to time and attending the various programs. And the most important is the inquiries. That is, once you study the last subject, you will be given inquiries. Inquiries में mostly inquiries क्या होती हैं? Overstay from the leave. Generally जवान घर पे जाता है 60 दिन में, तो छुट्टी में आने का उसका मन नहीं करता है. वो जो है 90 दिन में आता है, फिर 120 दिन में आता है. तो then these inquiries are conducted by assistant commander. Other inquiries may also be given depending upon the caliber of the officer, कि उसके वेपन चोरी हो गए हैं, आपस में लड़ाई हो गई है ट्रूप्स की, और जो है इन्फिल्ट्रेशन हो गई है कहीं से, तो वो कंट्रोल में नहीं आई. So these are the also inquiries of serious nature which are given to the officer. But once you become deputy commandant, then more serious nature of inquiries are given, because initially you must develop the ethos of the force. Thereafter, the level of the inquiries are increased.
सर यू हैव स्पेंट अबाउट 35 years in the BSF. So सर हाउ वाज, अगर आप सम अप करना चाहें उस एक्सपीरियंस को, सो वुड यू लाइक टू रीलिव दैट लाइफ अगेन? वो एक सेटिस्फाइंग फीलिंग आई सर व्हेन यू सुपरएनुएटेड एंड व्हेन यू रिटायर्ड. सो व्हाट वाज दैट मूवमेंट लाइक सर, when you realize you have spent given your entire youth to this service of the nation? How was that experience like sir?
It is one of the classic experience what we get in the armed forces at CAPF. There is not much of difference. The life enjoyed by an officer is unexplainable in the words, because each day is a good day for you, and each day is a learning day for you, and whatever the challenge is coming to your life, you accept it and perform duties up to the best potential which is available in the you. The most important is to remain happy all the time. So therefore, I think that whatever I chose, I performed the duties for 35 years, and I had a good career. It is not necessary that everybody will become Inspector General or Additional DG, but depending upon the nature of the job and the destiny, whatever I got, I thank you God very much, and I'm always happy with whatever I've achieved.
So that kind of contentment one should always look forward to. Sir, now moving to the final part, you are still active with the aspirants. Students would like to know about the Rakshak Initiative and the details therein.
Yeah. I like to throw light upon the Rakshak Initiative. In fact, what happened that once I retired, I wanted to give coaching to the students. So when I was DIG and commandant, then I had center schools with me in Guwahati, in Coach Bihar, in Ram Tirth area, Amritsar, and in Pathankot. So whenever there was dearth of school teachers, I used to teach the science subjects and English literature to the students, especially to the sons and daughters of the BSF, so that they do not lag in the society in competitive exams. So I was thinking of such kind of project, but I found that this corona has started and it is quite difficult. So we gave a deep thought to this Rakshak initiative, that let us try for the Rakshak and let us prepare the good officers for the country. So I thoroughly went through the papers, that is the written paper 1 and paper 2. You won't believe it is not exaggeration. Paper 2 I can solve at mid of the night and I'll be able to secure 80% marks in that. There's no, I can say with that kind of confidence. Paper 1, science I knew very well. I was postgraduate in MA history from Punjab University. So considering the daily reading of newspaper of last 50 years, I started reading newspaper at the age of 10. So this much of the knowledge of wealth I had. So I thought that I can easily impart the training for the written examination as well as the interview. So other subjects like polity and constitution, my daughter is advocate in Punjab and Haryana High Court. So she covers those two subjects. And for English, we had a good friend in St. Xavier School. She was teaching English literature to 12th classes. So therefore, she was taking up the grammar. And we went for this initiative free of cost without any charges. And it has proved to be a successful.
That's indeed yeoman service that you are doing even after retiring from the services, sir. Students would be very much benefited from this. Any last message that you want to give the aspirants who are preparing for uniform services, sir? What things that they should keep in mind to become worthy of the uniform? Because we generally find that a lot of aspirants want to become officers but they do not want to go through the grind. वो उस रगड़े को नहीं झेलना चाहते सर, ऐसा कई बार प्रतीत होता है. वो सीधे अफसर बनना चाहते हैं बट ये नहीं चाहते कि उसके पीछे जो आपने मेहनत की है उसको उतना ज्यादा नोटिस नहीं मिलता. तो सर उन एस्पिरेंट्स को आप क्या मैसेज देना चाहेंगे?
मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा कि ये जो आपका जीवन है ना, इसमें हर दिन में आप एक नए अर्जुन हो. आप अपना दिन कैसे बिताते हो, आप एक नए अर्जुन हो. और आपका फोकस कहाँ पे है, दैट इज मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट. अगर आपने रोज का चैलेंज अर्जुन के हिसाब से तय कर लिया है और ठीक निभाना है, तो सक्सेस विल किस योर फीट. Success will definitely come to you. It may come late, it may come early, but definitely there will be success.
थैंक यू सर फॉर दोज वर्ड्स. वही गीता का जो है कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन. So that is the message sir has left us with. Thanks a lot for your time, sir. We would keep on interacting with you if you give your time, valuable time for us. Thanks a lot from all the aspirants who have joined us for this session. A lot of students would be watching the recorded session as well. Thanks a lot for your time, sir.
Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir.